literally cannot get this on. It's so funny. Okay, it looks like let me check. Yep. We are in equine design.
Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of sharing here while we're waiting for people to jump on.
Hi, Maddie.
At least I'm going to try that.
As you jump on, people, say hello. If you're watching the replay, say hello. We're just going to take a minute. We're going to share to all the places. And we're so excited you are here. So many new people, and I'm loving that.
Okay, I thought I could share this to originators, but I'm not exactly sure. Hi, Rachel. Share to a page. Originators.
Just gonna take, if you're just jumping on, we're just taking a minute to get into all the places. Say hello. Facebook is always an adventure every time we come in. This is, I think, the fastest we've ever just gotten in, though.
Yeah, I think partly it's on a public page, which is kind of easier than this group sitch.
Yeah.
Okay, now I just need to find you again.
Okay. Oh, I see more people are jumping on. Say hello as you come in.
Okay. All right. Double check.
Hi, Emmy. Good morning. We love you too. Emmy, I cannot wait to start digging in with you. She's so fun. More people are jumping in. Say hello as you come in. We're just taking a minute to get in all the places.
Okay, I'm just trying to find where I will be able to see the comments, and then I'll be ready to get rolling.
Yeah, mine is so weird. I have to like push my phone to be able to see the comments. They go away as soon as it like relaxes. It's so bizarre.
Oh, hi, Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany. This is so exciting.
I know. I feel like this is happening really fast. And also it's like, feels like a million years. I mean, I think we released the Facebook page 10 days ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mama.
Hi, Mom.
But it just feels like so exciting to start talking about all of this whole new way of experiencing yourself and your horse and what's available for you. And it's really exciting to like officially introduce what equine design is today.
Yeah.
So as we go through today, we're going to give you obviously an overview of what is equine design, because that's the question. Everyone's like, okay, I really want this reading, but I also don't even know if I know what this is. And there's not a lot of way that anyone would know that what it is, because ultimately we have been unable to find anyone else who is utilizing the basics and like format of human design in like the mammal chart. And Jenny did find one person in some Scandinavian country, we're not even sure, but we haven't been able to find anyone else who's doing this. And So it is something brand new to the industry and to the marketplace that we are bringing through, and our wonderful clients that we have that have let us read their horses and talk about this and help us develop it. It's just really exciting to see, because even in the weeks that we have been investigating this and building it and setting up the framework, it's deepening every single day. And it's so exciting to see how this is going to play out. A lot of the people, first of all, we're so excited to have everyone new. Well, we're so excited for all of our women, our horse women that we love so much, that have been with us and with the originators, since the beginning. We love women people who love horses. Like, they're just this special breed of people. They have a heart and a grit and a dedication and a love for life that is so inspiring. And then we have, since Equine Design Facebook page has started, a whole new group of people, both men and women actually, that are interested in what we are going to share with you. And so I think we're going to start just by introducing ourselves for those of us who don't know us.
Yeah, I'll start. So I'm Jen Kurtica, and just so you guys know, Brandy and I are actually sisters by birth. We're not just like sisters that people say, but we actually are sisters. And so we grew up in a family. This is kind of interesting about us. There's 4 daughters in our family. Our mom is online right now with us, and we didn't grow up in a family that were like around horses and had a lot of experience in that element. Our grandparents lived on a farm, and we would go out there. They owned horses, but we didn't ride them a lot or anything like that. The neighbors, a mile away had horses, and we would love riding them there, but it wasn't something that was part of our childhood, really. We have a sister who is in the industry. She also was not born as being groomed into this industry as well, but somehow the 3 of us have been really given this piece of the horse world somewhere inside of our heart that was unexpectedly planted, and it's been a surprise and really a homecoming to come into this industry when it feels like maybe it doesn't make sense, right? So we both have had multiple different things in our life. I, for a really long time, was a stylist. I worked with mostly women through my work and really loved the connection with people, which then led me into more of the coaching industry. We started the Originators. I was always super surprised because about 90% of our clients they were in the horse industry, which was kind of, I loved it so much, but I thought, what is it that is this attraction to us with these people? And it's really been just like origination is, step by step, living in the moment, following the voice of God within you, leading us step by step to the next place, not really knowing where that's going to be, and thinking that we think we have some big picture of how our life is going to look like or how it's going to work out. And for us, and for me individually, it has been a ride that I did not expect, but literally the most fulfilling time of my life to be in this work with all of you and to introduce this to the world, really, of the availability of what's available to you through this. And so, long story short, I'm so happy to be here and to meet you guys and get to know you even more.
Yes. And I'm Randy. I'm the oldest of the 4 sisters. I'm in a really weird spot. I'm not gonna be able to cross my legs here. I'm gonna have to scoot a little bit. And my background, I guess, about 12 years ago, I began to study cranial sacral therapy, energy healing, body work. My daughter led me down a path into more of a holistic experience of wellness and wholeness. And it began to really be a center focal point in my life, because the benefits that we were seeing individually in our family were so huge. And like we said, we have a sister who is a professional barrel racer, and she, she would talk to me, or I would do like cranial sacral therapy or hands-on work on her horses. I began to teach different consciousness classes and like subconscious programming. And for some reason, a lot of my clients had horses, and I don't know why. It doesn't necessarily make logical sense to me, but for some reason I could tune in and tap into the energy and the essence of the horse, and really like communicate and see, where the imbalances were, what was happening in that dynamic. I understood patterns and relationship dynamics. Relationships have always been something that have fascinated me, and the relationship between an owner or a jockey and a horse is one of the most interesting, beautiful dynamics. I really believe that there are people in this world who are wired to live and love in relationship through the equine. And that dynamic is such a beautiful thing to witness. Like Jenny said, we did not grow up riding horses. I have a daughter who rides now. We have our sister who rides. But I love horses, and I love horse people. And was it 2 years ago now that we went on the road? So 2 years ago, Jenny and I took a trip. I don't know, maybe 1 year ago. I don't know.
I don't know.
Some time ago, we took a trip and we traveled the rodeo circuit with our sister for several weeks. It was 1 year ago. And it changed me. I feel like I'm gonna start crying. It changed me in a way that I wasn't expecting. And I fell in love with the sport and with the people and with the culture. And not being a rider and being in my 40s, it doesn't look like barrel racing is going to become an active part of my life, at least on a really highly competitive level. But I do have to say that having the opportunity to be part of this community through equine design and through the skill set and the gifts that you and I were given in energy and in connection and in coaching and mentoring and in understanding the patterns and the energetics and the dynamics between people and horses. It is our unique way of being part of this beautiful, wonderful community. And we're really excited to be able to dive into what we have discovered and why it matters to you guys. If you are watching this and you have questions as we go on, please feel free to put them in the comments. We'll look at them towards the end, or we'll stop at different times. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Aaron. We'll talk a little bit and kind of go ebb and flow back and forth between the comments. There is sometimes a little bit of a delay for us in those, but thank you again so much for being here. And today is going to be a real general conversation. We're going to deepen into the specifics of things in the weeks and the months and the years ahead as we continue to share this and grow what equine design is and what's available for you. So we're so thrilled that you are here.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so the way that this really became about is many years ago, we really started digging into our own lives and our own way of being and really understanding that there is not this cookie cutter, one size fits all way that we can show up in altogether. Like, we all individually are divinely coded specifically to live out a certain way, to receive and respond to guidance that we were given, and how that we actually each individually receive that guidance. For us, it's the voice of God within inside of us. Like, we knew that there was something leading us, that God was leading us. And that if we started to follow it, even if it did not make sense, that we would be led on a journey that would be more of a homecoming and a better way of doing life than what we had ever really experienced, thinking that we could just do it on our own and figure it out on our own. So that's really how origination began. We both went on our own individual journeys of connecting into our internal guidance system and following it no matter what. With doing that, it led us into offering the originators as a mentorship coaching program. We started talking about what we were doing, and the response was unimaginable and not planned for. People were like, I don't know what this is, but whatever it is, I want it. So we started making places for people to go to so they could start living and experiencing what it is that we're doing, and so they could implement it into their lives in their own unique way. As the time went on, we had, well, even before, because there was some times that we were starting to get into different ways of experiencing this, but we're going to talk about some stuff that probably sounds a little bit foreign. Some of you may know it, but we just want to introduce some of the background, some of the terminology. And like we said, this will become more familiar as you follow us and become more familiar with the different kinds of languages. So if you don't understand it all right now, like Randy said, you can ask questions or understand that it will become more familiar soon. So we started really getting into our own genetics in the way of like divinely coded and what those imprints means. There was different resources that we were using, and two of them were called the Gene Keys and Human Design. Randy really loved the Gene Keys. I really loved the Gene Keys. Randy has this innate, amazing ability to read what's in there and download the essence of what it is and be able to channel in this depth of information, this raw, genuine, like expression that is unlike anything that is out there. I really started taking to human design, and it made sense in my brain and the way that I logically kind of think. I'm deep and I'm logical at the same time. And it really was this beautiful way of this map to understand my own unique coding. And I loved it. And I started studying it really, really deeply, which then led us to understand the principles of that we're like, if this is happening with us, and we know so deeply this to be true, because the best part of this is we had innately discovered things about us that then later in life found something that reflected and represented the things that we discovered about ourselves. So our maps and coding became so apparently true to ourselves, and we started implementing it behind the scenes with all the wonderful people that work with us, and I know that they would say the same thing. It felt like a really big homecoming to understand ourselves in a way that was the most natural way to be. But because we live in today's world, we can maybe not feel like we have permission to be the way that comes the easiest and the most natural way, right? Would you agree with that?
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's really where we started having discussions with our clients about human design. And because most of them have horses, there was this one day where I was like really deep in. I had seen this, we'll show you guys some maps of like, just for references of what it looks like, but I had seen a map of a mammal in this human design type genetic chart, okay? And there was this spark inside of me that felt like, oh wait, something inside of me has like triggered of this like unknown situation. And I had screenshotted it and sent a picture to Randy and said, okay, I feel like there's a possibility for something happening with the connection of a human where there's these open places that this could be. And we had this quick conversation and it just kind of dropped there. Then cut to time goes by as we're really implementing and discovering more about ourselves in human design alongside of our clients. that some of our clients we started talking about the possibility that around the equine and the horse and the mammal of how this be similar. And what we had discovered is the mapping is somewhat similar, and the way of the energetics, the way they work are somewhat similar, but the equine alone in its own makeup and its own original design has a depth to it that is so beautiful and incredible, and we really feel like it is our job here on earth to inform you of what this is, because the the way that you can connect, like, we know those of you that have been woven with the spirit of the horse want nothing more but to support your equine in the way that they were intended to be supported and honored and loved. Like, the love that you have for your animal is insanely apparent, and to think about having a glimpse into the way that they communicate, the way that they learn, the way that they use energy and receive energy, their rest and recovery, all of these little elements that sometimes feel like you have an intuition about it, but to have a confirmation that each one is uniquely designed a certain way and that you can support that, creating the best environment for yourself and your horse together. I mean, it seems like the most ultimate gift that you could give each other, to really live in alignment with who you both are.
Right. So we're going to pull up a couple maps shortly here, but just to add to what Jenny was saying, both in the modality of the gene keys, which was actually born and built from human design. Human design was first, and then the gene keys was something that brought like a depth and a scope to human design, just in a little bit of a more nuanced way. And both of these modalities are based on like a combination of like some ancient texts, I think called the I Ching, in combination and relationship with astrology and where the planets were in alignment at the time of your birth, and the time and the location of your birth, on top of some other things in the 64 genes that are available that each hold these characteristics of like natural essence of expression. So like each of these are kind of like an archetypal energy system that holds certain qualities and characteristics. And then when we put in your birth date and your time of birth and place of birth, what it gives us is a blueprint and a map that shows basically your most natural state of expression. Like if you, there's a lot of potential conditioning involved. And so as some people, they see their chart and we begin to explain how they utilize energy, how they experience the voice of God within them, how are they designed to act on that voice, what their natural innate gifts and qualities are, what their strengths and personality traits are, what their potential challenges are. When we begin to talk about this, some of them feel very much like, oh my God, yes, yes, yes. This is making so much sense to me. And sometimes it feels, I don't know. I don't know if I know these parts of myself, because we've been deeply conditioned by our environment and our experience and society and all of the things. And so what we do is we have this potential. One of our programs is called Deprogram with the originators that we guide and mentorship in, where we spend 9 weeks really getting to know the truth of who we are by letting go all of the ways we behave and have been conditioned to not be our true selves. So in this equine design and in this human design charts and readings that we are doing, we are bringing through the most really natural and efficient way that you were designed to experience your own life, and the same with your horse. And we get an inside look at the way that you would naturally flow in your own relationship to life, and the way that your horse naturally is wired to learn, communicate, connect, interact, grow. Like Jenny already said, rest, recover, work, all of those things. It gives us a real deep depth. And in these sessions, what we do is we look at the map of the human design. In a human being, there's 9 energy centers that all hold different gates or gene keys that give us insight into those qualities and characteristics, and the horse has 5. So the human has 9 centers with 64 potential expressions of different qualities and characteristics, where the horse has 5 overall centers and 15 like potential expressions. But then there is this connection chart where they overlap. And in the sessions, what we do is we can give you guys each a depth to you to understand yourself more, the way that you work, the way that you operate, understand your horse, and then how you two work together. And then what it does is it builds a framework for us. And because Jenny and I work very intuitively and very openly in the energetics, in the communication and the dialogue, we also do a lot of channeling specific information for you. So even if, let's say we have 2 horses that have similar gaits that are active in their life, those readings are still going to be individuated to your specific experience, your specific history, your own dynamic. It's not like a cookie cutter. The charts give us the framework, and then the connection that we have with you and your horse bring in the specific like content that is required for you to hear in that specific reading. And these readings are recorded, and they are available to you for replay, and you have access to them, you know, indefinitely. And then there are potentials to work with us to start implementing these specific energy and design types into your life and guide you into more alignment with yourself, and then guide you into how you can also be in relationship with your horse as they're more in alignment.
Yeah. Okay, so should we pull up a map and just kind of show? Okay, one thing I want to add to that too is, like Randy said, so the information we need from you for these kind of readings is the place and time of birth. Okay, so in a human being, this is very specific. So you would want to be pretty close to like in the minutes of when you were born. Like if it was at like 3:05 a.m., 3:15 would still be in the realm, right? So it's a little more specific. There's a little bit of a window with the human side of it that we can kind of buffer in. But the horse side with your equine, we have a little bit of leeway. I know right now it's not common to there is not a time of birth on a like the papers, right? So there's a place and a location, and those things are extremely important. The time, the exact time is amazing if you have that. We can get so specific with the exact time that's really, really cool. The horse works differently than the human, where they have a bigger window of time before things change in there. So even if you don't have the exact time and you have like we know that it is like 80 or 90% of horses are born between 12 a.m. and like 6 a.m. in the morning or something like that. So the majority, it's like when the humans leave the horse's birth, right? They have a little bit of time to themselves. But if you even know, like, it was sometime in the middle of the night, or it was in the afternoon, or it was in the late evening, we can really, really see a lot in that too. So when you make a appointment time to do a reading, you will be prompted eventually to these different questions of like time and place and birth. And you can put, if you don't know 3:10 a.m., you can put in the middle of the night, something like that, if that's not aware. But I do have to say, every single person that we have read so far has said, I don't know the exact time. And you guys are so thrifty and can figure anything out, because has there ever been a horse that has been born in the last 15 years that was not recorded by a camera phone? Like, there is always a first picture of a brand new foal that, if it's kind of like that thing I said to Randy one time, like if a tree falls in the woods and nobody sees it, was the tree actually, did it actually fall? It's like if a horse was born without a picture, was the horse ever actually even born? Like, just,
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen.
since the age of cell phones and social media, we should be able to find out the majority of these details. At least, I mean, I guess if your horse is 20 or something like that, or there's been multiple owners, but I feel like the majority of people, and especially like as we're moving forward, like we're just wrapping up full season right now. And so like all the little babies that were born, think about having access to the way your horse is designed from the very beginning, and how much you can utilize this knowledge and this information and this access to just streamline and efficiently care for your horse and train your horse with less effort and like better results, because you are doing what is naturally right. You know, with the 5 energy types, which we'll touch on today, but we will be bringing like a lot of these videos and, you know, a lot of more information and depth to this. You know, you can get kind of a general idea of how they're going to learn, train, work, rest, and recover. And so if you don't have to treat, you know, one type like a different type, you're really becoming way more efficient in the time you're investing, and you have a lot less frustration and a lot less like confusion in like, why is one horse needing this and one needing that, or I need to do this but this one's not working for that one. A lot of this takes care of itself when you understand their chart.
Yeah.
Other thing that I want to say just quickly, because it popped into my head as we're moving forward, the way that we have our website set up right now is for like an individual reading. I mean, you can do a human design reading, you can do an equine design reading, or you can do a connection chart, which is they're very detail specific in the offers on our website. If you have a herd that you want read, reach out to us so that we can help make that happen for you at a different rate. Okay. We just don't have the capacity in the one-to-one thing. If you have a lot of horses that you want to have read, we can do that with you and we can figure that part out. But you'll just have to reach out to us individually. And so you can connect to us through Messenger, or you can email us through our website, or however that works. But if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, I have 17 horses and I want to know every single thing about all of them, we can help you with that, and we can do it at like the herd rate. Okay.
Yes, totally. Yeah, it's really
One
cool.
last thing is we are actually looking to pair with like in like corporate partnerships, and I use corporate as in like businesses who are in the equine industry who would like to pair with us or who would like to connect with us. We are looking for the right fits for connections in that avenue of how we can both, you know, be of service to you in the industry, and how we can have that connection and build that relationship over time. So if that is something you are also thinking like, oh my gosh, this would be great for what I'm already doing, or I'm already in, you know, equine therapy or holistic, or I do massages, or I do recovery, or I do, you know, training, I do all of these things, we would love to partner with you.
Okay, so for equine design and human design, there are 5 energy types that are a way of understanding your makeup. Okay, and in each of these types, they all come with an authority, and the authority is really the way that you receive the messages from God within you. Each one of us has our own unique way of receiving that. Some of us have these body sensations, some of us have these deep knowings, some of us has this instinctual way of being in this moment. And unfortunately, for most of us, the way that we have grown up and the way that we have been taught how to do things has been kind of in an overall way, not so unique, individualized to each other. It's kind of like the one with the most dominant energy in the group, or the what's like the culture pass down the ways to do it. And sometimes that leads us away from each other. So it's really incredible and interesting, and feels like an amazing homecoming when you find out in your own human design what yours are and how they feel, what they sound like, and what to follow, really. And with equine, it's the same way. They have their own energy type. They're one of the five, and they have their own authority, the way that they navigate their natural state of being and who they truly are. The five types, I'm going to introduce them to you.
Will you just pull up the map just so we can, as you're
Yeah.
talking, we can just kind of get a visual as you're talking? I mean,
Sure.
it doesn't have to be the specific types or whatever, but it would be fun to start seeing just like when we're
Okay.
talking about a map, what does a map look like?
So first, I'm going to start with these two. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can make this a little bigger for us and still fit it on here. These are two individual maps on top of each other. Okay, so the words down here.
You haven't shared it yet, hon.
Oh, thank you. Screen share. How do I? Oh yeah. I almost pushed stop live stream. Okay, here we go. Perfect.
Okay, can you press the green button and even expand that further in the corner of the photo so it takes up the whole screen?
Oh my God. I had no idea how you did that before. Thank you for that information. You're going to have to show me how to get out of this though too. Okay, yay. I was always wondering how you did that. Okay, so what I was saying are these two equine design maps are two separate maps. I put them on top of each other so we could see a difference visually. Okay, so the words that are down here belong to this top map, and the words that are down here belong to this map. This would not come together normally like this, but I really wanted to give a reference point. So there's 5 energy types, and you can see in these maps that there are these different shapes, and these are called centers. Inside the centers, there are these numbers, and these numbers are called gates or gene keys. And each one comes with their own uniquely coded way of being. So the 5 types, I'm just going to say what they are, and then I'll talk a little bit about these 2 examples that I have up. There are what is called manifestors. There's manifesting generators, which is a 1 type. A manifesting generator is a single type, not 2 things together. There are generators, there are projectors, and there are reflectors. And so as we go into this deeper over time with you guys through our page and different videos and in your readings, you will really come to understand the uniqueness of each one, and that not one is better than the other type. Okay, so we were all given a type to be, and it really is our job to be that type, because when we show up in our own individualized way, we work together in a whole in society that is really meant to happen. So we all have our unique way of, in essence, and when we try to be somebody else's, it really takes away from the experience, not only for ourselves, but for all of us. So the horses are the same way. They all have their own unique, individualized way, and no horse is better than the other. There are amazing things about knowing this. There are certain kind of horses that you may be more attracted to in the way that you show up in your life and what it is that you are here to do. This example on top here, normally the name would be filled in and the birthplace would be filled in too when you do a reading, but I just covered them for privacy reasons. And this horse here is what we call a manifesting generator. And a manifesting generator, you can see, has a lot of filled in colors here. The manifesting generator will always have this filled in center, which is called the sacral, and it will be its way that it leads itself. Sacral will become its authority. And so it has a very specific way. It has its own energy system inside of it. Compared to down here, this is a reflector horse. This has no centers that are solidly colored in. They are what are called more open centers, where the colored centers are more defined. And so when I say they're defined, this manifesting generator horse came in here to this earth with a very defined way of being, that it has its own unique essence and its own tone and vibration that it knows it's to be like. Where the reflector horse has more of an openness to it, and it has more of a fluid way of picking up information and kind of being more a little bit, like I said, these are not better or worse than each other, but this one has a little bit more opportunity in general for molding and conditioning in a way that a horse that comes in with its way of being may not have. There are benefits to both of these types. Somebody who loves growth and evolution and loves being faced with themselves and to their next expansion would love to have a horse that has this openness, that can reflect back things that they want to know about themselves. So like when you're looking at this reflector horse, we did a reading yesterday, and I'm just going to give some little examples. Like I said, this is a lot of information. The horse, as a reflector, literally reflects back the state of consciousness and energy and where you are in reference to where you want to be. So this can be an incredible gift. This horse can reflect back the highest of highs to you. It can feel like the best, we've got this situation. It can also reflect back the thing that needs to be tweaked for you to get to that place. If you're not aware of what is happening here, you can take that as a personal state and way of being for yourself and for your horse. So it could be showing you something that is not at all the way the horse feels or what's going on with the horse. It's information given to you as a gift to be able to read, understand, and then reconfigure and rearrange a belief system and a knowing and an awareness and getting yourself back to the truth. Whereas a manifesting generator horse here in this picture, each one would be different. Not every manifesting generator horse is going to have these exact definitions. They will have some of them. Not every reflector horse is going to have these exact gates here, but they will be open. Where a manifesting generator horse, on the other hand, for example, could be like not so much concerned and with showing you where you need to tweak yourself, where it's more like you need to trust me and I'm taking you more on the ride because I know what we're here to do and that we have the energy and the capability to do it. They're setting a tone that may feel different than, for example, a manifestor or a reflector or a projector. Yeah. And so just as a quick overall reference, you can see then underneath there are a lot of different numbers and words on both maps. These are really where they come in with the definitions of their different gates or gene keys, however you want to call them. And it's really where we can get into their personality traits and their way of being. There is a natural scale of evolution that each one comes in with. Some of them are more into natural nature instinct, where they're a little bit more primitive, and some come in where they really are meant to live in harmony and meet up with human beings and learn and trust and work and feel their value to society in a way that is unique to them. And so we can really read and see these things and understand the story of who they are, what they're here to do, what they're here to teach you in combination, and how you can support and guide them and see them for who they truly are. Because Randy had touched on how we all have conditioning and programming, and you may see this immediately with your horse. You may have been the first owner and have imprinted on this beautiful being the way that it is to be. And it may have had some life experiences in another time that don't match up. And so it's not something you can clearly see. But the more that you can understand and hold them to their original design, the more it will benefit you and benefit them for the greater good of all. I'm telling you, we know this to be true. We have done this with people in our lives in some of the hardest times. And what has happened in our lives to be able to hold people that we love to their strength and not their weakness, to who they actually are and not their worst moments in life, has been one of the most changing things that have ever happened in our lives. And we know the same to be true in this relationship between you and your equine as well.
Yeah. Let's pull up the connection chart as well. And then I think what we can do is what I think would best serve everyone, because I really don't want this to go on for like keep it a little over an hour, is we can follow up with shorter videos. We can just talk about a manifesting generator in one video. We can just talk about a projector in another video. So we'll bring depth to each of these types as we move on. But the last thing we do want you guys to see is the connection chart and the human chart as well. So you can just start to become familiar with
my screen share is being paused, it says. Resume share.
Oh, I can see it.
Can?
Uh-huh.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, I can see it on the
okay.
on the live stream too.
Okay.
You guys can see it, right? If anyone's on here, you guys can see that there's like a person and a horse and
that's so interesting. Yeah, it says your screen sharing is paused, but
okay.
let's just hope it's not.
Okay.
Either way, we'll have our words here.
Yes. Okay. They can see it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for replying. Oh, okay. I love Emmy. I need 3 horses red. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So this we really wanted. If you want to say something about this, Randy, you can feel free to go first if you want.
Okay, so if we look at this chart here, you can see all the way over on the left, you can clearly see that that's like a person, right? And like I said before, there's 9 centers to a human being as opposed to 5 centers in the horse. And so the picture on the left is the person by itself. The picture on the top right of the horse is the horse by itself. The 2 pictures in the center, the person on the top and the horse on the bottom, is their connection chart. So if you can see, I mean, you don't have to dive deep into this, but you can see that, there are things that light up in those middle 2 charts, or there's things that activate that are not present in the individual chart. So one of the really cool things about, the connection chart is my favorite part of the reading because it's so beautiful to see what comes alive and what gifts and attributes and qualities that you have in the relationship that is open to you in that dynamic. And this is not just exclusive to a horse. We have this in every relationship. It's sometimes why we're really drawn to certain people or certain horses is because they have these defined, the ones that are red, the centers that are red that have the numbers, that's your definition. That's the qualities and characteristics that you naturally possess. And so we are drawn to people. So sometimes we have open areas. It doesn't mean we don't have access to those qualities and attributes. It's just that they're not as prevalent or as like innate in our lives. Obviously, as genetic human beings, we have all 64 genes available to us, and they will play out in some combination, but there's just sort of aspects that are more dominant and aspects that are more recessive, but we still have qualities that we can connect with and tap into. And the horse relationship, the equine connection chart gives us good insight into what these qualities and characteristics are that are brought into that dynamic. The different, like in the human design, these different boxes and triangles They're different centers that are attached both to the or that represent both the physical body, the energetic body, the emotional body, and they are a way of experiencing and interacting and processing your life, right? You process energy, you process information, you connect with the world around you, you connect with yourself. It is a way of being and interacting and experiencing yourself in relationship to the quality of life that when we look at this chart, we can get a really good overview at like your natural way of being, and then how that complements your equine relationship. You want to have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, not necessarily. It's just really is such good insight of how you will, like what you are here to experience with each other, what you're here to teach each other, and then also really what you have the opportunity, both of you, to imprint in each other. So there is a way that you came in here to be designed, but you are also here to grow and evolve and gather information and data. And we have been doing that, whether we like it or not. And so sometimes some of the things that we have gathered have been like or inappropriately wired, or have given us stories about ourselves that don't actually match up to our original design and how we're meant to live. And one of the most beautiful things I love about the readings that we have had so far is really how apparent it is that these horses come into our lives and they really are here to help kind of clean out and reshape and reevaluate and learn a way of life that is such a gift. And we have the same opportunity with them. Like most of the people that work with us are high performance athletes. They are in competition. They want to fulfill the biggest dreams that they can think of, which I feel like I'm getting emotional. Like we love that so deeply and feel so strongly that every single one of those dreams can come true. But what we do know to be true is they can come true in multiple ways, and you can work hard and grit and force something to happen in your life, but the way there and the experience of this life and getting there is really where all the magic is held. And so we have this huge opportunity to have a short game and long game where we can learn how to feel satisfied and successful and content and surprised and filled with celebration in our short games that lead us to the long game. Like the days of force are over and the days of ease and alignment are here. And you can only sustain being out of alignment and in force for so long before things implode. And so we really are here. Your horse is here to guide you into a really enjoyable, efficient, ease way of being that brings you fully into alignment so you can actually fulfill the dreams and have the energetic systems and backing that is required for you to experience it all. Like you can get to that end goal, but what you really want is the all that comes with it, because not everybody can be first place all at the exact same time. So if first place is the only thing that matters to you, it can be a long, bumpy, draining road to get there. And we all have our own perfect timing of being on top. And it really is about finding how to be on top of the game while the game is being played, no matter what place you are in at this exact moment. And that's really what brings in the success in the life that you truly are looking for. And so this connection chart is such a cool way and such a cool insight of how to become efficient and decide what matters and not focus on the things that don't matter and become a authority for each other and bring yourselves. Not many people are living this way in full alignment as a team, and really the possibilities that are available in this stream of energetics are very unknown. The limit is not set, the way of being is open and the possibilities are endless. And so this is extremely beneficial and important. And I truly feel to the depths of my soul, this is a game changer for those of you who have big dreams and big plans.
Yeah. And ultimately, there's like, if you don't know us yet, or if you do know us, we are really committed to helping people, mostly women is what we've worked with so far, but helping people come into greater like balance in their life so that they can have it all, and whatever it all is for them. And when you have a horse, they take up a significant amount of your time, whether you're in competition or whether you're just, it's your pastime or your passion or your love or your they require a lot of attention. And if you are in competition, or if you are, traveling the rodeo circuit, and most of these athletes have families and other businesses and other things that are happening, and partners and children and things that they are trying to balance. And one of the things that we have noticed is that the overall culture and tone in the industry in with horses is it can be all consuming, and that there are a lot of sacrifices that need to be made. And there's nothing wrong with making sacrifices in quality of like choices of what is right for you. But what we know for sure is that when you understand your own design and you understand your horse's design, some of the sacrifices you are making will become unnecessary. Some of the work that you're doing doesn't make sense for that specific design. And so you can live your life smarter with more time and more sustainable, like quality of overall life experience, where you may not need to be on the road or all the time. You may need to learn how to trust that your horse can handle, or actually benefits more from breaks than it does, so that that your competition is more efficient. We live for the most bang for your buck, and we think smarter and not harder is the way to go in the experience. And we know for sure in the human world that when people begin to live in line with their design, that a lot of stress and anxiety and worry and dis-ease and physical and emotional ailments that have plagued them in some way, shape, or form begin to disappear, because your energy begins to flow in a new way. And we truly, truly believe that this will be the same in your horse's experience. We believe, and we will need to, continue to work with the people who, and stay in touch with the people who decide that this equine design, is right for them and their relationship with their horse. But we believe that when people understand what this is and how to implement this in their quality of life and relationship and training and competition and way of being and environment, that they will actually have sounder horses. They will have a higher quality of life experience overall, more balance, more ease, more rest, more recovery, more happiness, and more alignment in the general flow of energetics and emotions and time and energy.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a really good introduction to what equine design is.
Yes. And so when you do the reading, we go deep into all of these things, the things that we touched on. You leave with a depth and of understanding of who you are, who they are, and really the map on how to live this out.
So I am going to actually drop the link, which will give you highly specific information, frequently asked questions, the difference between the design readings, what they entail, what the timeline is, into the chat box, just so that you guys can investigate that. Or if you're like, yep, this is for me, sign me up, you can book a reading there. I think it's on there. Yep.
Yep.
And if you have questions, you can put them in this chat box. We'll come back and look at it. The replay will be here. we did have a contest going for a sharing and winning a free equine design reading. So I'm going to draw that in 1 second. We're actually going to add a second drawing. We're adding a second drawing right now. And you will get 1 entry for anyone you tag in this video. So if you, I've seen that lots of people have already tagged people in this video, which is super exciting. So everyone that you tag in this video is 1 entry. So even if you're just watching this on the replay and you want to share this with people, we will, wait probably, I don't know, a week.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll wait a week and then we'll do a second drawing. And every time you share this video, so if you share this video on your personal page, then you get an entry for that as well. And
on this video that you shared it though.
Yes, exactly. Okay. You're going to have to leave in the comments that you shared it because of your privacy settings. We can't always see who shared the video. So tag people, entry, mark shared, entry, and 1 week from today, we will draw another winner. And that winner, that person will also win a connection chart reading.
Yes. And also I do want to say, I didn't talk this over with Randy, but I'm going to say it. Do not wait to book if you want to book. If you are a winner in a future drawing, we will refund you the money.
Yeah, okay? Absolutely.
So do not feel like you have to wait to see who it is.
Oh, they're already sharing. Yay!
You guys, this is so fun. I love you for being here. I'm so excited. One thing I do want to just say really quickly about our own human design, I'm just going to talk about mine really quick, is I know that a lot of my keys in the work that I do in this world, there is this freshness element, this leadership element, and I feel so fulfilled in this work that we're doing right now because I would never have known like what this freshness of like new to this world, like we're literally bringing something to this world. You guys being here with us and letting us lead you to this is changing the world just by being here. We are insanely grateful for your presence and your willingness to talk about it and to understand that it is something that we have to shape here. We know birth times are not something that are commonly talked about, but it now something that is relevant. And so this can be part of the way that these horses arrive. The information can be readily available. If you didn't, nobody knew this before. And like I said, we have a huge opportunity even without the specifics, but how we grow this and share this is really going to take a web and a community of all of us to do this together. And we really have the opportunity to change the game.
Yes, I'm so excited. Beth says, thanks to rain and a rescheduled farrier appointment, she was able to watch this. And I thought about it. It's raining here. I live in Minnesota. I don't know where everyone else lives, but it always rains on like really significant days for me, or really big like revelation days for me. And it's supposed to rain. It's been raining since about midnight and it's supposed to rain all day. And I actually thought of Brittany too. I was like, oh, it's raining. So it's just kind of a nice thing. But I'm gonna draw the first winner from the share from the first contest that we had. And so that winner is Dina Flum. Dina, I will also leave you a message and tag you in that. Oh my gosh. So yes, this is literally the first introduction. And I ask you to like follow the page so you get the notifications. We're going to start going into these. We're going to start sharing more about these specific channels, what these characteristics are, what these energy types do, how they live and experience their world. And you can start to maybe see even, oh, I think my horse might be a projector, or I think my horse might be a reflector, or I think I might be a projector. And you'll start to get to know this language and these characteristics. And we're really just bringing this in, at this very entry level. And there is so much here to explore and deepen into and connect with and share with you guys. And we literally cannot wait to get to know you guys and your designs and your horses and their designs and share and revel in this experience with you. So,
yeah. So this will go
Yep.
on, like we said, for a week. So keep sharing, keep tagging. It's not a one and done. You can do it as many times as you want. Okay. And each one of those things will be an entry.
I love you too, Maddie. And it was so fun to do roars yesterday. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
It literally was the most fun.
Okay, we'll see you guys soon. If questions arise, drop them in there, drop them on this video, and we will go from there. Thank you guys
Okay.
so much.
Bye. Love you guys. Thank you.